This is Gooboberty. Welcome to the Diablo 3 Challenge Rift 9 Tutorial and Guide. This week we have the Necromancer. This build focuses on the Skeletal Mage with the Singularity Rune. This skill consumes all essence to produce one powerful Skeletal Mage. Every point of essence spent increases the mage's damage by 3%. In this build we get more essence from Bone Spike, Health Globes, and Devour with Devouring Aura. Supporting Skeletal Mage, this build is using the full 6-piece set for Bones of Rathma. All bonuses apply, with the exception of the 2-piece item bonus, as this build is not using Army of the Dead. The 4-piece set bonus grants us 1% damage reduction when any of our minions deals damage. This stacks up to 50, and in this build we have a total of 17 minions, allowing for this stack to max out quickly for a semi-permanent damage reduction of 50%. The 6-piece bonus makes Skeletal Mage the focus of the build. Each Skeletal Mage increases minion damage by 625% up to 2500%. So after 4 mages, we hit our max damage buff. You are able to cast up to 10 Skeletal Mages at any given time, with new summons replacing the oldest generation. This means that we need to maintain 4 to 10 Skeletal Mages at all times. This build features the bonuses from a second complete set, the 2-piece set bonus for Endless Walk. This makes it so that while you're moving there is a 50% damage reduction, and while standing still, damage is increased by 100%. This is great as it means that once all of the minions are summoned, this Necromancer should be vaguely immortal while moving. We cannot attack while moving even though our Skeletal Mages can. Once we stop, all damage is increased by 100%. All other non-set items include Krelm's Buff Belt, granting us additional movement speed until attacked. Reaper's Wrap, a critical item which grants nearly a third of our total essence per health globe pickup. And Crisman's Sentence, which grants us nearly 300% increased damage against frozen and stunned enemies. This build is currently using Command Skeletons, which freeze the target of attack, and Land of the Dead, which freezes all enemies within its range, while Bone Spike stuns its target. And as for the main hand and offhand, they have no powers that apply to this build. For the powers, we have Relena's Shadow Hook, which buffs our primary essence generator ability, Bone Spike, allowing it to capture an additional 5 essence per enemy hit. Spamming Bone Spike in a dense group will grant essence quickly, allowing for another cast of Skeletal Mage. Relena's Shadow Hook also grants 0.5% increased damage for every point of essence in this build. We have 308 essence, which equates to 154% extra damage. Next we have Steward's Greaves, buffing Blood Rush, our traveling ability. This makes it so that after using Blood Rush, we have a 50% movement speed increase for 2 seconds. And Circle of Nalyuj Evil, buffing Skeletal Mage, allowing for each mage to last an additional 4 seconds, for a 12-second total duration. This power also raises an additional Skeletal Mage with every cast. So instead of generating just one powerful Skeletal Mage with all of your essence, you will create a pair of equally powerful mages. For the legendary gems we have rank 35 Esoteric Alteration, granting us nearly 30% non-physical damage reduction, along with 75% increased resistances while under 50% life. Rank 35 Enforcer, buffing all of our pets for additional 25.5% damage, and making our pets very durable, with 90% damage mitigation. And a rank 25 Bane of the Powerful, which buffs damage against elites and grants us an ongoing damage buff after killing elites. On to the passives we have Life from Death. This passive grants a 20% chance of spawning a health globe at corpse consumption. Due to the high number of corpses, health globes will appear constantly. Next we have Extended Servitude, extending the duration of our Skeletal Mages by 20%. When you take into consideration the 6-second default mage duration, plus the 4-second increase from Circle of Nalyuj Evil, and the 20% increase from Extended Servitude, our Skeletal Mages will last a total of 12 seconds. Overwhelming Essence increases maximum essence by 40 for a mana pool of 308 total essence. Thanks to the power of Relena's Shadow Hook, every point of essence increases damage by 0.5% for a total of 154%. And Final Service grants us a freebie death every 60 seconds, making us immune to damage for 4 seconds after resurrection. Things to keep in mind here. The minions do most of the work. Your job is to ensure that you have maximum number of minions on the field at all times. We passively generate skeletons with command skeletons for a total of 7, and we actively cast Skeletal Mage up to a max of 10. Skeletal Mages will use all of our essence per cast, so for additional essence we use Bone Spike, Health Globes, and Devouring Aura. Every 3 Health Globes, another Skeletal Mage may be cast. Now, Land of the Dead has a 2-minute cooldown and must be used at the right times for maximum efficiency. This will spawn numerous corpses and health globes, allowing for Skeletal Mage to be cast 5 times in 10 seconds, with each cast creating a pair, adding up to a maximum 10 Skeletal Mages. Only cast Skeletal Mage when essence is full, as every point of essence spent buff their damage by 3%. And onto the dungeon. This week the dungeon rift is level 45. We have floor 1. This is actually the most complicated map due to the size and maze-like nature of certain regions. There are 2 pylons in this map, a power pylon and a speed pylon. The goal is to dig through these pylons and push on through to the exit while hitting up elites along the way. After running this floor many times, I've settled upon this route for maximum efficiency. Floor 2 is basic in layout, but due to the lack of enemies towards the end, it may be hard to keep Skeletal Mages up past 4. This floor contains 1 pylon, a conduit pylon, which will kill most everything as you run by. The problem is the lack of health globes and the corpses for Skeletal Mage creation. Because of this, when floor 3 starts, we may not have an adequate number of Skeletal Mages. This is why we saved Land of the Dead for floor 3. Floor 3 is very short, with just 1 elite group in the left lane. If the boss does not pop in this left lane, swing on over to the right lane. Once the boss emerges, it will die in less than 2 seconds. And now to put these skills in practice, let's dive on into Diablo 3 Challenge Rift 9. Hold on to your butts, and let's do this.
Hold on to your butts.
Alright, here we are with the Necromancer. I'm gonna go ahead and do this darn thing. Let's do this build, huh? Check her out. So as I said, the Skeletal Mage is key here, because when you have at least 4 Skeletal Mages out, it buffs all minion damage by 2500%, and that's quite a bit. Now the thing is, whenever you cast Skeletal Mage, it uses all of your mana. So you can't recast it, you can't spam it. In order to get essence back fast, we're using our Bone Spikes and our Devour. Now Devour is passive here, it's a Devouring Aura, which means that all corpses within 15 yards will be absorbed for 11 essence. Because of the passive Life from Death, we have a 20% chance of spawning a health globe whenever we consume a corpse. So we should be seeing lots of health globes. And because of the bracers, Reaper's Wraps, those health globes are now our primary source of essence. They give us 27% essence. That's almost 1/3, so after about 3 health globes, we can cast a new Skeletal Mage pair. The Skeletal Mages use all that essence because every point of essence used gives us 3% extra damage for those mages. So it behooves us to cast those mages only when we have full mana. So our mindset should really be on running after the bodies, running after the orbs, casting your Skeletal Mages, getting at least 4, focusing on getting a main stack of 10, pushing through with your Blood Rush as fast as possible, maintaining that speed little sprint, and moving on along your way. Now, whenever we need more orbs and there's no bodies around, it's kind of hard to generate mana when there's nothing around. So we use our Land of the Dead, because this, as you see, would just generate lots and lots of orbs. So we have lots of mana just waiting for us, even after Land of the Dead's over. Because now we can go back through, and every 3 health orbs equals a brand new, fully powered Skeletal Mage. Now every time that you cast a new Skeletal Mage pair, right, because the command sets to 2, thanks to our Circle of Naljul's Evil, every time we cast 1 we get 2, and they last longer. So every time that we cast a new pair, it replaces the oldest pair, and we only have 10, so after 5 casts we're at our max. Every time we cast a new one, it's replacing the old one. So if we keep focusing on generating the strongest possible Skeletal Mage pairs, we are more than likely replacing weaker ones, because sometimes we end up accidentally generating a weaker Skeletal Mage. So we are saving Land of the Dead for the very beginning and the very end. We're using it at the very beginning to get our 10 Skeletal Mages up and running. and to move down the hall fast to the first elite, because the first elite shield. We want to kill that elite fast as possible. Now we're using it at the very end because the end of the second level has very small amounts of enemies. So when we start level 3, we're going to have almost no skeletal mages, and this helps us get up and running as fast as possible. Here we are. We're going to go ahead and do this thing. Let's do it. First thing I do is I cast Land of the Dead. That allows me to relatively quickly cast my 5 casts of Skeletal Mage, which will create 10 Skeletal Mages. I want to kill this group right here as fast as possible because they have shielding. Eats into our time. Moving up around the corner here. Use my command skeletons ahead of me to freeze a group, stopping them in their tracks and dealing way more damage. Command skeletons, and I'm keeping my stacks up on my Skeletal Mages. If you get stuck, use your teleport to skip past the group, up and over. Use your power pylon right here. Now we're moving down the hall. Elite group. Picking up our orbs and piles. Use our command skeletons, freeze them right there. Collect the orbs and health globes. Command skeletons on the scares. Speed pylon right here. Running back down the hall. Dumping our mana. Going. Around the corner. Command skeleton. Cast your max number of skeletal mages. Collect the orbs and the health globes. Moving fast. Down the stairs. Command skeletons. Get the health globes. More skeletal mages. Moving up the stairs. Command skeletons. Skeletal mages. Into this room. We are breaking things and getting that speed boost. Okay. Right here at the end, there is an elite group. Kill them. Collect their orbs. Get the health globes. End of the hall here. Next room. Command skeletons to freeze the elite. 3 orbs, get the health globes, and recast your skeletal mages. Down the hall, there's an elite coming up. Command skeletons. Get all the globes and health globes, orbs. Moving down. From this point on to the end of this level, we don't have to really cast skeletal mages anymore. At the beginning of round 3, we will be casting Land of the Dead. Right now, the conduit pylon is doing all the damage that we need to move through these enemies. Some of the larger guys aren't dying on time, but that's okay. Now, at the beginning of this round, we want to move it forward as fast as possible and then teleport into the middle of the group, cast Land of the Dead, and quickly get your 10 skeletal mages out. Pick up those orbs. Cast those mages with the full mana. Moving down. Kill these groups down below. Fast as possible. Right down here. Every 3 elite, every 3 health globes. Casting a new skeletal mage. Here is the elite, the main boss. They'll die in less than 2 seconds. There he goes, he's done. Well, there you have it. That was the run. My best time is 2:59. Currently, I'm still in the top 50. It's rank 48 right now, 2:59.5. This run right here, because I was talking and kind of showing you stuff, I got kind of hung up here and there. This time was 328.9, and 328.9 is about 190. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. If you want to see more of these tutorials, just head on through my YouTube channel. I do this every week, and this right here is week 9, so there's 8 more of these before this on different classes and different builds. Of course, these Challenge Rift builds are flawed in one way or another. Like this build is the main and offhand don't have any relevant powers, you know, and it's kind of slow. The cooldown time is really slow too. It could use a lot to really help it out. But I like to really examine how to master what you got. Master the handicap. Well, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. The Goobopperty way.